welcome back. This is part 4 of the design part of our design. Um, you would have ended up about here, I would suggest. Now, I've had a couple of days away from this and have gone further than this in class with all of you. We'll catch that up, obviously, over this video. But I've actually wanted to add in a degree of functionality as well that I've thought would be useful in this system. And again, this is expanding our understanding of PA systems as well as QSys. And we're thinking about how best to do a theatre. And because this is a school auditorium, they've made the stage, this is all virtual of course, but they've made the stage quite wide because they want to do assemblies and awards and theatre productions on this stage. So it's a reasonably sized stage. And if we've got the PA either side, which we will have, probably on the stage, I would suggest, if people are seated right to the front of that auditorium and are in front of the stage, and the speakers are to their extremes of their hearing, speech and singing can often be indistinct and a bit blurry to those audience, or the high end doesn't get to them. They can often not hear spoken stuff, even if you are using microphones and amplifying it. And one way I've found around this, and I used to use this at Palladium as well, is a run of infill along the front of the stage. Now we can probably get away with just two infill speakers on the front of the stage. These are low profile passive drivers. Now you can put the mix through them, and because they're smaller diameter drivers, the bottom end isn't quite as pronounced, so it tends to, and you can of course EQ these as well to just emphasize speech or transient stuff, so that the front rows and the center of your audience aren't unduly affected badly by where they're sitting in terms of the audio they receive. This can be a nice thing, so I think we should include this. I think it'll make the school happy. It's only a little more expensive to do, and we already have the amplifier channels to do it with, so we'll add that as we go. But what this means is that this mix delay input configuration that I've made here needs to become more flexible. What I mean by that is we need to be able to run it this way, the way we've designed it already. That's fine. We need to be able to run the delays from a separate send if we want to. That's cool. But I'd like a situation where if I was putting on a theatre show, I could simply run, for example, the music and the sound effects through the main PA, and perhaps the delays as well, but the spoken word through the infill on the front, just the spoken word. And I'd also like a situation, especially in a theatre production, where there's not a lot of music or background, where I'm just running that through the PA and the delays and the infill are carrying the spoken word top end stuff that you want your audience to be able to hear at the front and in the rear. It's best coverage for that stuff. So I hope you're all covering me, and I'm aiming this at theatre as well as music production. It will benefit everyone in all of those situations. So there's a new component I'm going to introduce you to achieve this. Before we clean up anything else, we've done quite well so far, and it's called a router, not a PA router, just simply router, and it comes out looking like this, which is fine, but we need it to operate slightly differently. I want two inputs, bear with me on this, and three outputs. And then I'm going to make it stereo. It's two stereo ins, three stereo outs. And what we're going to do with this router is, instead of mix being here and delay being here, that's fine. I'm going to take delay out of here. I'm going to delete these first. And I'm going to delete these two and put them here. Mix left and mix right into the router now. Get to what the router does. And I'm going to get rid of that tab as well, obviously. Fine. I'm going to create a new tag called input to left and input to right. And I'm going to put them here at the router. Okay, so now these are ending up here at the router. So the router's got to tell this now where to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my delay because they're still here, and so it's easy. Right, now let's make a new tab called on main left and main right, and that of course is going here. Double click obviously. Right, cool. Now let's make two new tags. We're going to build this a little bit later, but let's make two tags called infill 1. Name these 1 and 2 rather than left and right, even though they'll functionally be the same if you want to run it that way. We could also send this somewhere else, and this is important. Cool, we don't need to build the infill yet, as I say. We've just got to get this router working. And the way we're going to get this router to work is using snapshots for it. If I pull this up, you'll see it looks like that, which is reasonably straightforward. So let me get a snapshot going. Snapshot bank, I'm going to select the router because I'm making a snapshot for that and that alone. I don't want it affecting anything else in the design or any settings that I have on any other component. This is why you do it this way. New snapshot bank from selection. So now this is the router. I put that under there so I know what it is. And I'm going to call this something. I'm going to call it IP2 config, which is a very codey sounding thing, but it just tells us what we're doing here. Input to configuration. Okay, so let's open this up. I want us to have 4 snapshots. When you're doing design, it's a good idea to keep everything as efficient as you can. If I just left this as 8, there's 8 save spots I don't need to have in my design that are taking up processing and memory space that I may need for something else. So as efficient as you can be with everything, I've made these stereo. That's simple, that's good. I've made this only 4 because we only need 4 configs to save. And as I save them, I'm going to explain what they'll be. All right, so we need to emulate. Okay, so first things first, you can't name the outputs. You've just got to deal with it. So output 1 is main. So what I want to have as the first configuration is a situation where we're running 6 outs from our console. We're running left and right, and we're running our monitor sends, and that's it. The easiest configuration we can have, which is actually this. I can send the mix to output 1, the mix to output 2, and then the mix to output 3. So that's good. So I'm going to save that. That's just going to be the default, at least for the school setting. That's good. Now, what I'm going to do now is make this output 2 instead, and I'm going to save that. And that'll be where we're taking care of the infill and the PA, but you drive the delays or whatever you want to send to the delays from your console on a separate group out or aux out, whichever you want. The next thing we're going to do is have a situation where you're running both the infill and the delay. You can still use the system settings on your delay, but you're now providing that through a separate group out or aux from the console. So you're using input 2 for this. Now this would be great if you're doing what I was talking about before, where you have a theatre where you want the sound effects and the music coming through the PA, but you just want to have spoken word in the delays and the infill just to up the dialogue comprehension and clarity in the house. So this is going to be save 3. and then save 4 was going to be that. We run the delays and the left-right off the mix, and you run the infill off something separate. So that's save 4. That would be where you want the music and the sound effects in the delays as well, and only the spoken word in the infill. That was the other scenario we discussed. So we've saved those 4. That's good. That's going to help us build our design later on, which is great. Okay, so what we've got now is pretty much everything we need. Let's stop emulating. Pretty much everything we need, except we haven't built the infill. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's tidy up what we have so we can start to make this look a little nicer. Let's get rid of that delay display that we were using before. We don't really need to, oh yeah, look, let's do a custom control. We can just copy that, as a matter of fact, because that's what we built that off. Was, oh no, we didn't. Let's do it, add the custom control. Good. We drop that out here. Just make sure we have everything. Turn it into a text field. Drop it on top of that custom control, because that's what that is. All right, great. So I wanted to start organizing these away from the other part of it. So because this is just about the stereo gain and the custom control, the stereo sublevel, I'm actually going to put these together down here with the selector, because these are actually all to do with the sub. This I can put over here because it's to do with the delays, so it's in line with that. Whoops. There we go. So no, that's not lined up at all. It's lined up. That's lined up. Okay, so now we're a bit better. Is that lined up now? This is a question. Oh, there's enough to drive you all crazy, isn't it? We can put that there. We can move these down a little so they're out. Whoops, out of the way. To right, up and down. It's usually best too. Cool. And the reason I want to do this, I want to start tidying this up a little bit on our desktop. Yeah, let's do something like that and something like this. Cool, because there's a few other little pieces that I want to pull out of various parts of this design to display. And one of the things I want to do is the metering. Now, I've done this all with you in class, but those who weren't in the class or want to review might remember how we do this. We pull all those meters out and put them on the desktop like this. And then if we do this, do that, sure. If we make them longer than they're bigger, yes, this is it. We'll start to get them to go the other way. Yes. Why are you being unkind? They're being unkind to me. Because I've forgotten an important step. And we'll do it. We need to pack horizontal pack center. There we go. Yes. Horizontal pack center. And then we need to, sorry, this is very clumsy. I may even redo this video because this bit is so clumsy. How embarrassment. All right. But we're beginning to get it together now. Perhaps this is enough. Perhaps it'll be a nice cheap laugh for you. Fabulous. I'm sure there's a few of those already in this tutorial series. Let's put this over here because we will need to get a couple more things out of that. So we're going to go over here. Okay, and it's still rather large. So now I'm going to size them up to the component. Okay. We're sort of almost there. This probably needs to still be a bit narrower. Okay. Now, the thing that I realized when I was reviewing this was that we've probably done the meters a bit wrong in terms of the way we've ordered them out. So I'm going to see if my bet is right. I'm going to put them there. Put that here. Well, I don't know whether that shouldn't be input too. It won't matter for the purposes of what we're doing. Then this will be 1, perhaps there. Yeah, for the graphic EQ. Now move these over here, all of them. Neat. See, good. All right. Please be neat. Good. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, less embarrassment now. Good. We also want to have, please, these clip indicators. I want them at the front of the flex in. Let's do this before we get silly. We want to do that. Yeah, beautiful. And now we can make them littler. Perhaps not that little. Ish. All right, let's see what that does. What a fluke. Nice. We now have clip indicators at our flexing core. This is also going to be nice. All right, let's begin to, look, move these up because why not? Why not? Is that in line? Second one. Yes. Yes, now it is. Good. Speed limiter can be down here. All right, because we'll probably put an infill in here. Yes, actually, we will do that right now. Yes, we will. So I need a graphic equalizer. This needs to be a stereo graphic equalizer. Thank you. We'll hook it up to infill. Why not? For 1. Oh. Let's do 2. Yes. Yes, let's do 2. Yes. I'm going to do 2. We're going to do 2 in case we want to deploy a slightly different type of infill too. This is going to sound a little strange, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a graphic equalizer here. We're also going to, and this is going to probably mess up. We'll fix it. I want to set another stereo peg limiter. With these gone, thank you. And the other thing I want to put in here is a high pass filter. Right. And copy here. Good. I'm just going to hook these up because let's just hook it up and get it all running. That we're going to call this infill safe. Just means it's been protected, obviously. So I'm going to keep one of these. That's why I've kept separate graphics on them, obviously. And they can end up down here. Okay. I'm not going to add the speakers yet because there's a high chance that I'm going to replace all these in our design. Not to freak you out. Having done a little further research, I think I've under-specced the speakers for this environment a little bit. And what I mean by that is it's I'm using 12-inch drivers in places where I probably need 15s, and I'm using 15-inch drivers and 12-inch drivers where I probably need 18 to adequately cover the space with enough headroom and enough power to make it a pleasant experience for everyone and not like, what are we listening to? So these will work. It would do the job, but I've found some better solutions within Designer, checking power specs and ratings, and also I've done a little further research into the amplifiers and what they're able to have done to them to make everything work properly with the speakers. So the power ratings I originally applied here were a little bit undercooked. I've now done further research to make sure we put very efficient and very powerful use of these amplifiers to drive that space beautifully and clearly. So this will be a fun thing, and it will also show you what to do if you get. I mean, look, I've deliberately done this. I was actually hoping a little bit, probably over hoping, that someone was going to pick me up on the fact that I said in class to everybody, these amplifiers will do perfect power ratings to these speakers I've chosen. And that wasn't actually accurate, and I was hoping someone might challenge me on it, because that would indicate that you're all getting right into your sound system thinking as well. However, why I expected you to chase down power amp and speaker power ratings is beyond me. This is the world I live in. I'm crazy though. I'm an audio person, a mad audio person. So ignore me, but also you might learn something here that you might need to know somewhere down the track in a joint you're working at. If you're touring, you might need, this might be useful for you to understand in the level that I'm going into it to fix problems and to see what's happening with things that aren't working. Or this might be the pathway where you start thinking about this stuff and become adept at this side of installs and going in and doing schools. I mean, you can make a really decent living doing this stuff, and schools and RSL clubs and other community groups and halls. There's a lot of places with a budget to spend on having their system be easy to use and very effective. So there's a lot of work in this if you're interested. I'm not doing any of that work. I'm doing this to teach you. I'm happy just operating. I'm very old though. You're not. You've got your lives ahead of you. And I'd love you to have as many options in front of you as you can, because, as we know, entertainment, hospitality is up and down. It's seasonal. There's times when you're broke as hell. There's times when you've got a lot of money going on there before you're paying too much tax. Stuff like that happens all the time. And it's often a good thing if you want to make a big purchase or pay off debt or whatever you want to do. Travel, where you go, you know what, I'm going to lock into a lucrative income stream for a little while to make that happen. And this could be part of an option for you. Who knows? It also just generally, the more you know about PAs and how they are supposed to run and what an infill is and what delays are and all that, the more effective you are, the more of an asset you are. I'm trying to help you be assets. And many of you are displaying lots and lots of very asset-like behaviours and thinking. So the more I can do to encourage that, the better for you and me. Great. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, I should leave that open because I do want to use this. We're going to start tidying this up even more with some group boxes. Let's just make some group boxes here. It will help us to separate what these different elements are and what they do. Good. Now I've made a text group box. I'm sorry. There. I'm going to just. I really am. You're going to copy that down. Lovely. You can see that's actually fit for purpose there. And it will be fit for purpose here as well. If I do a bit of that. I'm only going out to here with this because I'd like to put there. And then I want to grab this original one again. Sort of have these all in one box because it's system protection, yeah. It's all in one box now. That's good. And then I can use that to. That's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Undo is your best friend sometimes. Control Z. Oh, there's the police coming for everyone. Someone on an ambulance. Everyone's okay. And then I can do this down here for these custom controls. Oh, what way design moves with you. It's there. Oopsie. Do a bit of a holiday here. A holiday here. And I'll take holidays. Good. There we go. So that's already a lot neater. Before we do the text boxes, let's have a look at where we are in terms of what's happened here. That's not right. Here we go. I'm just fixing this. Infill. I have to delete this. Good. Hello, delete. Thank you. Why wouldn't you delete? Because I'm not selecting you. That's why. Thank you. Infill 2 there. Good. Now everything's not jagged. Wonderful. To the color coding things, which we've already done in the class, but let's do it here. I'm going to go mix left and right. That will do these tags as well. If I just select them, I'm going to go mains as well, and that will do that. This graphic EQ, this crossover. And then since that carries the high box, which is the main mix, I'm going to stereo and high, of course. I need these tags. I need top box. That will do these tags and these speakers, which we may replace, but let's just do our color coding for now. And in properties, in fill, I'm going to look for like a purple-ish color. Yeah, maybe. Oh, do I go to the next line up? Maybe I go to the. No, yuck. Oh my lord, that's quite gross. That'll be okay enough. I'm sorry if it's garish or distressing to your eyes, but I'm just trying to clearly demonstrate the differences. Good. Let's do the delay system, which is coming from here. Actually, is now its origin point. That's going to do that. That graphic EQ, that there, that will now go back and do those ones. This delay send, good, and of course down here these speakers, which are our delay speakers. I think that's all we need to worry about at the moment. No, this one as well. And I'm going to turn them into a, just for the sake of having something that works, that green. Again, sorry if it's garish. Good, let's do, while we're in the PA part of this, let's do the sub. So that's low here. That's where that comes off to begin with, because it gets split at the stereo crossover to feed into this stereo gain. So these tags will go, that stereo gain, and then low gain tag, which goes into here with this peak limiter. And then I'll do subs, which will do that, and then those other speakers. Let's turn them into a grey so they're all together. And actually, wouldn't you know it, I have forgotten these two, because these are also associated with the subs, to do that grey as well. Good. It's done a couple of the tags. I don't mind too much with that. Let's grab all of these and all of these. Let's leave input for the moment. These monitor tags. That'll do that. These graphics, these gains, and these peak limiters, and of course these tags here, and these speakers, and we will turn them into a nice blue. It's not a nice blue. Is that? No? Maybe that one? Okay. That sort of works. Cool. Let's do infill, which is here, 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 here. The speakers here because we don't have them. I'm going to turn that into like a yellow. No, not that yellow. That's gross. Like a gold kind of thing, maybe orangey. Yeah, let's do an orangey thing. Cool. So I'm not sure what to do with input 2 at the moment. Let's choose a color. We haven't chosen. Perhaps something. Yeah, no, that's horrific. That also is horrific. There's some of the colors are difficult to find. Good ones. Yeah, all right. A dark purpley thing, just so we know it's a separate animal from everything else. Great. The other thing I like to do is grab the flex core. I'm going to grab the router as well for this because it's infrastructure, and the amplifiers, and turn them. I like that to be like a black color. All right, great. That's pretty nice. Let us do very quickly some text boxes so that we can see what we have. A text box I'd like to have a stroke width. That way it's got a little box around it. Let's set the size at 14, yeah, maybe. I like last bold. And in here, I'm going to write amps speakers. Cool. Now, if I copy that across here, call this protect. This is protection. Over here, I can do that. Just I'm trying to be neat, you see. Call it bonds. This is also bonds. Let's just copy that in there. Why not? Okay, now it's not neat because now we need. Let's be neat. Let's all line it up. Good. Let's copy this down here and make it bigger because this is going to be. Sub/delay. Okay, it's a bit bigger. Cool. This is a little one. Of course, you can make it back to 11 and call this console insert, console in. And we can make that a little bit smaller so it's neat. And then we can go in here. Call this system. Why not? Okay, so now it's labeled as well. This is a nice spot. We've got it too. We sort of know what's going on now. And we're beginning to have at our disposal and on the design itself, many of the things that we're going to need to build our UCI, which we will begin in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.